Hey, John here, Skillet.
Hey, John, good morning. Appreciate you taking time to talk to us here at the Q 99.7. So it's been at least a couple years since we've had new music from the band. What's Skillet been up to?
Well, we've been touring like crazy. We just played so much, and we were writing, for the record, and the record took quite a long time to record. It actually didn't take long to record. It took a long time to write. In fact, I was just laughing with my wife. We did 72 songs, demoed 72 songs for this record. There were so many people involved, and it kind of became a crazy thing. So finally having the record come out is a really exciting, thing, and very, just feels like you're having a baby or something. Anyway, so that's what we've been doing, writing, recording, and then we've been touring quite a lot.
Both you, John, and your wife are sort of the front couple of Skillet, and I know you have kids, right?
That's right, yeah. We have two kids. I have a 10-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son, and we all go on the road together, and, we live on the road, and it's kind of crazy, but we do it.
Are either of them interested in music?
Let's see. I wouldn't say extraordinarily, no. My daughter is very artistic in other ways. She loves to write, and she writes poetry, and she writes little stories, and she's very kind of intellectual and insightful. Now, that, of course, could turn musical, but I don't really get the feeling that she's necessarily meant to be super musical. And my son is just young. He's 7, and he loves music. I'm not really sure if he's musical or not. He started taking piano, and we'll see how it goes.
I had a chance to see the band for the first time. I guess it was a couple years ago when they were at a casino in Connecticut. You were doing a show with Creed, I believe it was. You were opening for the band. And just noticed that you were very open about your faith on stage. It wasn't necessarily a quote-unquote Christian concert, but you were up there and you were sharing your faith. Can you talk about other opportunities maybe you've had to do just that, share your faith, whether it was on stage or off stage?
Yeah, absolutely. I do have some specific stories, but just an overall kind of response would be, Skillet has just had an amazing opportunity to share our faith, and doing more mainstream events. There is a little bit of a line you walk as an opening band. You don't want to be offensive, and you don't want to do something that's going to make that band wish they had not brought you along, because when you're an opener, it's not your show. It's their show. You kind of respect their rules, kind of a thing. But we've just had an amazing opportunity. All the bands we've toured with have been very comfortable with who we are. They know that we're a Christian band, and they know that we're a band that is very vocal about our faith. And so, I just asked God to show me ways to share that faith from stage that can be real and not necessarily preachy. I don't think that Skillet preaches. I think that we kind of proclaim, which, there's a little bit of a difference. So it's not necessarily that I'm telling people they need Jesus. I'm just telling people that I have Jesus and that he can change their lives. It's just a little bit of throwing a seed out there. And we just had amazing things happen, things I would never expect. We had an email from a guy, there's a married couple, never heard of Skillet, and they heard our music on an NFL commercial and liked it, went to the NFL site, found out who the band playing was, went to our website, got the CD, and became a Christian. Well, what it was is that this man and the woman were both filmmakers in the pornography industry. And the guy got saved. Then he led his wife to the Lord, and they both got saved and got out of the pornography industry, which had been, I guess, extremely lucrative for them. And all of a sudden got into a church, and their lives were just radically changed, all from hearing Skillet on an NFL commercial.
You've got a voice. Skillet is definitely one of those bands that has the ability to cross over into sort of the mainstream arena. Of course, with that comes a great opportunity to be able to share your faith.
We tour with a lot of bands that are not Christians, and getting a chance to talk to those other band members about the Lord. And it's usually, kind of upon their request. Skillet, I think what Skillet does really well is that we live the true Christian life. We do talk about the Lord, but I'm not out there preaching all the time, because I know that's what people are expecting, like on a one-on-one basis with these bands. We just live the life. They see my kids, and that the kids are extremely just well-spirited and well-behaved, and they're just great kids, and they see me and my wife, and we're faithful to each other, and it's a kind of an enigma to a lot of those guys. So about a week into the tour, they always come up and they say, "Now, Joe, what's this Jesus thing about?" And then we get a chance to talk about the Lord, and I've been able to pray with a lot of these artists, and it's just been kind of an amazing thing. So it's very cool that God is using us in that way. We're really just blessed.
Skillet, a little sample of the song Sick of It from the new project Rise. Can you tell us a little bit about the heart behind that song?
Sure. Well, Sick of It, this is kind of my quote, and people keep laughing at it, but it's perfect, so I got to say it. Sick of It is an outburst of positive anger. That's just what that song feels. When I hear that song, I feel like something angry is happening, but the message of the song is so positive, and it's basically like, it's a song about the fact that most all of us at one time or another know what it feels like to not know if you matter at all, to anyone, or if you matter in the existence of the world. And the fact is, we just want to matter in some insignificant way, and we want our lives to be a certain way. And there are things that we're sick of. We're sick of bombings. We're sick of shootings, but I'm also sick of things in my own life, whether that's sin, for a lot of people maybe it's addiction to something. And Sick of It is a song that is encouraging people to take whatever it is that you're sick of, whatever it is about the way that you feel that you don't want anymore, and just get rid of it. Get rid of that feeling. And it's an encouragement to people to reach to God to break some of these strongholds over our lives, because if we have Christ in our life, we know the Holy Spirit is in us, and we know that we don't have to be a slave to sin or worldliness or addiction. Whatever that is, it can be broken. You just have to get a little bit angry. You got to get a little sick of it, man. The record is called Rise. The thing that's unique about this record for Skillet is that it's our first concept record. The whole album tells a story from track 1 to track 12, and it's a story basically about your average teenager that is kind of coming into adulthood, and they're being faced with all of these unbelievable, terrible world problems and the chaos out there. As I said earlier, with all the violence that's going on, and floods and earthquakes and school shootings, all these terrible big things are happening, but at the same time, they're being faced with their own life and their own disappointments of who they are, maybe their own failures as a person, their own betrayal that they felt from their parents or their friends, or they're being pushed to try to be someone in school, and Hollywood's telling them they have to dress a certain way and lose weight and look a certain way and all this other junk. And so they're basically trying to find hope and find their place in life. And the whole album is a story of them trying to rise above their circumstances, and they finally realize that they can't without God, and he reaches out to God, and he asks God to save him from himself and to make him a new person. And because of that relationship with Christ, he is now, rising above his problems and above his circumstances, and he's able to help change the things around him, change the world around him, the people around him.
The Q 99.7.